I've read 40 books so far this year, which is a lot, especially when I see them physically around me. But it's also not nearly enough considering I set my Goodreads yearly reading goal at 90 books. It's September, which means I'm currently 20 books behind schedule. So let's read as many books as possible to try and catch up on my yearly reading goal. I feel like my kind of reading theme of the year so far has been quality over quantity, which is how I ended up so far behind on my Goodreads reading goal. I've also read a lot of bigger books this year. Like I just finished the entire Crescent City series. I also took my time to read books slowly when I was in a big reading slump earlier this year. So that's kind of how I've gotten here, and I'm honestly not mad about it. I feel like reading goals are supposed to be fun and motivating, not something that you force yourself to complete if that's not where your mood is at. So it's less so that I feel like I have to complete my yearly reading goal, and more so that right now I am in a big binge reading mood. So I think it'd be fun to see how much I can get back on track with my yearly reading goal while I have very high reading motivation right now. And I kind of have two separate goals in this video. Number two, I just made a September TBR. This is the first month in a while that I've made a monthly TBR, and it also is making me really excited to read as many books as I can from my TBR. Most of these are my most highly anticipated next read. Of course though, I'm not limiting myself to my TBR. If mood reading takes me somewhere else, then so be it. There are also some books that I don't physically own that are on my September TBR, and one of them I actually just got in the mail in my this month's book of the month box, and that book is Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. I love Stephanie Garber. She's one of my favorite romantasy authors ever, and this is her newest release. It's the first book in a new romantasy series by her, and it's also her first ever adult series, and it doesn't technically come out until October, but I was able to get it early through book of the month, which I think is one of the coolest things ever about them. Okay, adding this one to my physical TBR. And then the second book I got in my book of the month box is also an extremely highly anticipated new fall release of mine, and that's Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. This book is part of the Letters of Enchantment or Divine Rival series, and the plot of this one also sounds really cool and magical. Our main character is a literal goddess, which I think is going to be very fascinating to read about. And a huge thank you to Book of the Month for sponsoring this video. Big fan of them. I have been a Book of the Month user for a very long time and found many 5-star reads through them. Every single month, Book of the Month creates a list of the best new fiction that they've come across. Then you pick which book most resonates with you, and then they send it your way. Also, if there is a month where the selections are just not catching your eye, you can skip any month and you won't be charged. So it's completely risk-free, which I really love. And every single book is backed by their reader's guarantee. So if you purchase a book, read it, and don't like it, they will send you a new book in your next box. This month they sent me a hat, and they're doing a crazy special this month where you can get your first Book of the Month books, which is a new release hardcover, plus a free hat of your choosing for just $5 with my code JACKET. And now let's talk about what book I'm gonna read first in this video. I'm currently in the middle of two books right now. The first one is Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. I'm on page 76. This one follows our main character Jet, and somebody tries to murder her on Halloween night, which is also a great start considering it's now September to get into the fall season. She doesn't die immediately from the attempted murder, but she does have a brain injury that will lead to her dying in the next week. So in the next week, she's trying to solve her own murder, which is just very crazy high stakes. And then the second book that I'm in the middle of is Buy Yourself the Lillies. I'm currently also filming a video where I'm reading a bunch of self-help books, so I'm reading this book for that video. I think I'm about like 40% of the way into it. So I'm mostly gonna read this book in that other video, but I'll likely finish it this week. I wouldn't say this one is my favorite self-help book I've read so far, but it's kind of fun because the author tells a lot of stories from her life, so it almost feels like half memoir, half self-help, which is kind of cool. Oh, another goal that I forgot to add to the list of this video's goals is to decorate for fall. I feel like the second it hit September 1st really made me want to decorate my apartment, and especially now reading a mystery thriller and sitting in my reading corner, I'm like, no, we cannot have these bright summer books. And I'm excited that once I finish this book, I will have read every single Holly Jackson book, so maybe I can do a little ranking to see which book is my favorite by her. I have officially read 100 pages so far today, and a lot of people are lying to Jet, which is very suspicious, but also I have no idea why these people would want to lie to her. So, lots of potential suspects right now. Last night, Danny and I watched the Thursday Murder Club, which I really liked. It was really cute. I think we both agreed that we would give it like 6.5 to 7 stars out of 10. If you don't know, it's based off of a book, and I actually DNF'd the book. I just could not get into it. I honestly don't even remember what my review of that book was. Wait, let me see. Oh, I did give the Thursday Murder Club 1 star. That's tough, but it was very fun to see the movie. Always love watching book to movie adaptations, and I think I'm in the minority on feeling meh on that book. I know it's very beloved. And then, and not quite dead yet, I think I made it to page like 300-ish, and I'm really enjoying it so far. One thing that's kind of caught me off guard is the tone of the book. Our main character Jet is dying. Like I said, she has 7 days left to live, but I like that Holly Jackson really balances dark humor, keeping the tone kind of fun and light, but also the gravity and seriousness and sadness of Jet's impending doom. Jet very much like makes fun and makes light of her situation kind of as a coping mechanism, which I think also just helps have like comedic relief. But there's also been some scenes where my heart hurts and I'm scared, like, is Jet gonna die at the end? Part of me is like, okay, Holly Jackson would do that to us, but also would she really? Because Jet's the main character and I have absolutely no idea who the murderer is. I have about 50 pages left and we're definitely at the full third act conflict where everything is going wrong. And I actually got this book at a Holly Jackson author event and it was so cool to learn about so much behind the scenes of this book. There's letters in this book, which I think I'm about to get to. And Holly Jackson said she actually hand wrote the letters with her left hand and that it took her forever because she wanted it to like look messy but still obviously be completely legible. And then another thing she talked a ton about was the cover, which I think is gorgeous. And it's really cool that we've got this whole brain because Jet has a brain injury, but also trees and a house. And then also on the inside flap, little Easter eggs to the book or just like generally spooky vibes. Oh my gosh, Luca is being so cute right now. Wait, let me show you. I feel like I have to take a picture or video every single time he lays like this. It's adorable. Anyway, let's finish this book. I just finished the book and the ending. I just went and grabbed all of my Holly Jackson books. No doubt about it, the entire A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series is #1. Also read the little novella Killjoy, which was cute. And then my second favorite by her is 5 Survive. I gave this book 4.5 stars. Love the concept. I love how there were so many secrets unraveling. And then I'm gonna put Not Quite Dead Yet as my third favorite by Holly Jackson. And I think I'm gonna say 4 stars for this book. I really enjoyed it. I think this is my favorite concept that she's ever written. The plot is just so unique and it's so high stakes. I also would have never guessed the murderer, although I do think I've read more like surprising twisty mysteries before. And the only reason I wouldn't put this book higher on the list or rate it higher is, although I did love Jet and I loved Billy, her childhood friend Billy, I don't know that I like super connected with the characters in the same way I did with, say, like Pip and Ravi in A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And then I'm gonna rank the reappearance of Rachel Price last. And now I can turn this book backwards because 1 out of 10 books on the TBR are complete and 1 book closer to my reading goal. And then the other book that I'm currently in the middle of, Buy Yourself the Lillies. Oh, Luca. I think I'm gonna DNF this book, which I'm actually surprised at myself that I'm DNFing it because I have been enjoying it. Like I said, I'm reading it for a video all about self-help books that I'm filming. And I've read quite a few self-help books in that video so far. And I think I'm just liking this one the least. I think so many of the tips and advice are like great reminders of things like taking time for yourself and journaling, but nothing super new that I don't already know, I guess. Although I am liking the author tells a lot of stories from her life. I'm curious if you guys DNF a book, do you count it towards your yearly reading goal? For me, I do every single time. Unless I DNF it in like the first chapter. I made it like over halfway through this book. If I make it halfway through a book, even though that's not a whole book's worth of reading, I had to suffer through half of that book if I don't like it so much that I'm DNFing it. So for pain and suffering, it counts towards my Goodreads reading goal. This one I didn't hate though. I think I'm just interested in picking up some other books more. Yesterday, I was so torn on which book I want to start next, so I actually posted a poll on my Instagram and my YouTube asking you guys to choose between 3 books. Option 1 is Colty, which is a soccer romance. Then we have The Darkest Part of the Forest, which is a standalone romantasy book. And third option, Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. Alchemy of Secrets won the poll, so I started this book yesterday. And I made it to page 63 yesterday. And this one has quite a cool plot. It's so magical, which is my favorite thing ever about Stephanie Garber books. If you don't know, she wrote The Caraval and Once Upon a Broken Heart series, which beloved 5-star series of mine. And in this one, our main character's name is Holland, and she tracks down this local legend called the Watchman, who will actually tell you when you're gonna die. And he tells her she's going to die at midnight tomorrow, which very high stakes, kind of like Not Quite Dead Yet, and also kind of similar to Not Quite Dead Yet. This one takes place right around Halloween time, so we're really just getting all the fall vibes with these books in this video. Anyway, she can stop her death if she finds this object called the alchemical heart. Oh, another thing that's really cool about this series, Holland, our main character, is a graduate student, and a good amount of chapters in this book so far take place during a class, and that class is called Folklore 517. It's basically a class about like urban myths and legends, and the students even have to follow clues to figure out where class is happening every day. So the class itself, and honestly the whole book, it gives big like treasure hunt, magical, like mythical folklore vibes, which is so cool. Like I really want to make a Pinterest board for this book. Honestly, I might do that later. I just hit page 112, and I know I've said this like 10 times, but literally immaculate fall vibes, and it's making me want to redecorate bookshelves and decorate my whole apartment for fall right now, because I want to like look over and see little pumpkins on my shelves while I'm reading, not summer reads right now, so I think it's time to do some decorating. I got really behind on watching season 3 of The Summer Turned Pretty, so I'm catching up while I take away my summer decor. Feels like a final farewell to summer. I'm curious what y'all's thoughts are on season 3. I read the books. I know the chaos that is season 3, and I'm a team Conrad girl forever. I feel like few people are team Jeremiah, but also, are you team Jeremiah or team Conrad? The fall bookshelves are complete. Let me give you a quick tour. This skull candle is one of my favorite things I own, and these are some of the prettiest books I own. I love this top section the best. The Six of Crows and The Prisoner's Throne are some of my coolest special editions. And then we've got some Book of the Month books and this little book nook that I made. This row is all books I want to read this fall, and this row is mostly fall romances. My top recs for dark romances are The Predator and the Mindfuck series. And the bottom row is just assorted fantasy series. Okay, now we can read in true fall fashion. Danny and I watched 28 Years Later last night, so we made a little floor bed in the living room for ultimate comfy cozy movie watching. We've been on a big movie kick recently, and I was like, we need to leave the floor bed because it'll be perfect for today for reading. And in the book, I'm currently on page 184. I love that there is constantly something new happening, like we're finding a clue, we're going to a new location, we're meeting a person who isn't who we thought they were. And I don't know if I talked about the setting or not yet, but I love the setting. It's set in Los Angeles. The way everything is described really gives like old Hollywood feels. This one is definitely magical realism, not really fantasy, which is different from Stephanie Garber's other books, and I think that's really cool. The way she blends like modern day Los Angeles with like magical world is pretty cool. I think we should set a 1-hour timer because I want to get a lot of reading done. Also, I am wearing a Halloween shirt. In the book right now, it is Halloween day, so I feel like I had to bring out a Halloween shirt. All right, 1-hour timer starting now. Our 1 hour timer is officially up and I made it to page 228, which means I read 43 pages. It's honestly feels like a lot for me for an hour. And I feel like before, like the first half of the book, I was honestly probably at like 3.75, maybe 4 stars. But now I'm feeling very hooked and I feel like my final rating could go really high or kind of like hover around 3.75 stars, just depending how the ending is. So many potential twists or like people who I want to know their story. Depending how good the explanation is, the twist is, the reveals are, will really impact my rating. All right, let's finish this book. I just finished the book and I'm so torn on what to rate it. I think I'm gonna say 4.25 stars, but I do have some conflicting thoughts. Love the plot, it's so fast paced, it's so magical. This is very much a plot driven book and less so a character driven book. There's very much this theme of you don't know who you can trust. And so I think that also did hurt the romance plot line, because anytime there was a slight bit of romance, and there's not a ton of romance in this book, I just couldn't get invested in it because I'm like, I don't even know if I can trust this character. So like, why should I be rooting for him as the love interest? And then the ending, some great twists and turns and reveals that I did not see coming. I still have a ton of unanswered questions though, and I'm assuming because it's the first book in a series, we're gonna like get to those unanswered questions in book 2. Yeah, overall I enjoyed it. If any of you guys already have this book or get it after it comes out, please DM me all of your thoughts. 2 out of 10 books complete on the September TBR. Good morning. I've gotten up early this morning and I love like early morning reading. I think this is the perfect time to start another book. This is another book for my September TBR. I got it from the library. It's a collection of 3 novellas by Ali Hazelwood. And so far I've read every single book by Ali Hazelwood except this collection of 3 novellas. I think I'm just gonna read the first novella under one roof, and because it's a novella, it's pretty short, so I think I should be able to read it in one sitting. I just hit the halfway point, so I'm on page 63, and I've been reading for an hour and 16 minutes so far. And our main character is an environmental engineer, and she inherits a house, but she only inherits half of it. The other half gets inherited by a lawyer who works for a big oil company, so they have to cohabitate in this house because neither of them want to sell, and they do not like each other at all at the beginning, especially because they both want the other person to sell, and she loves the environment, and then he works for like this big oil company. So I love the forced proximity, and Ali Hazelwood is so great at writing the like enemies to lovers kind of characters. I've read one short story as well by Ali Hazelwood, and I feel like she's really great about making you care about the characters pretty quickly despite how short it is, which is cool. Also, look at my cute little heart bookmark. My mom crocheted it. My mom has an Etsy shop with lots of cute crocheted, mostly bookmarks, but some like tote bags and other like bookish items, and she just launched a bunch of Halloween and fall bookmarks, so I'll also have her Etsy link down below. Now let's finish the book. It took me just over 2 hours, but I finished the novella. I like it. It was cute. I think I'm gonna say 3 stars just because like it's a shorter, lighter book. You can't really get like a ton into like plot and character development stuff, which totally makes sense. My one complaint, and I feel like Ali Hazelwood does this in kind of a lot of her books, is where at a certain point in the book, it feels really, really obvious as the reader that the characters are interested in each other, but the characters have no idea and they misinterpret everything as the other person disliking them. I get it, but it is a little more miscommunication-esque kind of conflict, which I think is just like a little less interesting to me. Luca. Whenever I set up the camera, Luca comes right by the camera. He's sitting right there. Anyway, but it was really cute, and I loved like them being forced to live in this house together as strangers. I feel like that was very unique. I'll definitely read the other 2 novellas in this book. I feel like they're perfect as a palate cleanser, which I think I very much needed after reading a mystery and then a fantasy. So just having a cute, short, light read that I literally read in just over 2 hours was perfect. I filmed this over about a week, so in the last week-ish, I contributed 4 books towards my reading goal, 2 of which were on my September TBR. This one is on my September TBR too, but obviously I'm not done with all the novellas yet, so we can't check it off the TBR yet. Only 16 books behind now, even though we made great progress, still so far behind. Will I reach my reading goal this year? Probably not. If it happens, it happens, but I'm definitely more just mood reading, so I don't feel stressed either way whether or not I hit my reading goal. And again, like I was saying before, I've just been so interested, I think, in really big books. I was thinking about what I want to read next, and I think I either want to read Colty or 11/22/63 by Stephen King, both of which big books. And if you guys have an opinion on if I should read Colty or a Stephen King book next, let me know. And with that, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!